Hello guys, good morning. My name is Pradeep Goyal and today we are going to continue our Argus Safety Bootcamp training, and today we are going to learn expedited reporting algorithm and workflow. The topics to be covered in today's session is report algorithm, report workflow, reporting rule, downgrade report, and Argus Safety service introduction. So what new we are going to do today is we are going to learn this Argus Safety from the end user point of view, from the customer who are actually using our application, and we will see what are the challenges the customer faces when he uses Argus application. So you have to assume that you are the owner of a pharmaceutical company, and the name of the pharmaceutical company is Rocket Pharma. You see on the left-hand side, the first box, the Rocket Pharma. So you are the manufacturer of a pharmaceutical company named Rocket Pharma. So first thing that we are going to do in the Argus application, let me log in. We will go to the console screen, Argus console, and we'll go to the first thing that you're going to do is Argus site. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to create a manufacturer and the site. Okay, so manufacturer and site, both the names are Rocket Pharma. I have selected the description. I have entered the description, abbreviation, and the site type is Argus. Okay, and the other option available is LAM. It's an affiliate module, so it's not we are creating a real site like a Rocket Pharma. Okay, I have unchecked the checkboxes at the bottom. We will get more into detail in the later part of the session regarding these checkboxes. So this is how we create our site. We go to save it. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to create a manufacturer. In order to create manufacturer, we have to go to Argus codeless, and you will find manufacturer in between the screen. Okay, Rocket Pharma. Contact person is Simon. Registration number, I mentioned some dummy value. I'm selecting the country as United States, and I'm saving the manufacturer. Next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a group. Group name is all-in-one. So in order to create group, you will have to go to Access Management, Argus, Groups. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a copy of admin group. I'll click on copy. all-in group has basically it has all the access. You can see under the menus tab, almost all the fields are enabled, all the radio buttons are enabled, and in the case form you will see most of them, almost all of them has got the modify radio button check. That means that all-in-one group has all the access of the application. Under distance determination, I'm going to select United States. Now I will explain in the later part of the session why I have selected United States. Let us save the group. Okay, and the last thing that we are going to do for our in this particular box, the first box, is we are going to create a user. So Simon is the super user of your organization who is going to do the data entry stuff and going to do the medical review and do the distribution of the reports. So let us go to the users. Let me check if I already have a user by this name or not. Okay, I already have a user. What I'm going to do is, let me just rename it. I am going to use this particular user for Rocket Pharma. And the group, so basically what I have done is I have created a new user, Simon. Okay, and I have granted the application access of Argus in the console, and I have made Simon user belong to the site Rocket Pharma, and the group he belongs is all-in-one group. All-in-one group is the group that we created which has all the access of the application. Then under the role, user role, I have provided all the roles except for global admin. Okay. Then we have checked the boxes, allow locking of cases and allow closing of cases. Okay. And I have disabled site security. Site security, enabling site security, what exactly this means is that if I enable it, then this particular Simon user will not have access to, or you see it says no access to Apollo Pharma. So it could be possible that I have many sites in this particular application. So Simon user will not be able to access the cases created by the user of Apollo Pharma company. He will only be able to view the sites, view the cases created by Rocket Pharma. You see it says Rocket Pharma, full access, right? Okay, let me save this particular user. User has been modified. Okay, so what is the next thing that we are going to do? The next thing we are going to do is in the second box. In the second box, we are going to create a product. So Rocket Pharma deals in this particular product. The product name is 100 ml, and this product name has got a datasheet, and the datasheet name is USDS. It has 3 different events associated with it: blind both eyes, sore nose, and sore feet. Okay, so we are going to configure this in the application. So in order to configure product and licenses, we have to go to business configuration, product and licenses. The first thing that we have to do is we have to create a family. So we are going to add a family name, Calpol family. Let us add an ingredient. Okay. Now we are going to create a data sheet. The second half says data sheet. We are going to create a data sheet. Data sheet name is USDS. I'll check this box, activate data sheet, and we are going to add 3 terms. The first term, when I click on this add term, it opens up the Medra browser. Medra browser is basically a Medra dictionary. Okay, blind both eyes. I tab out. I'm going to add another term. Sore nose. I'm going to add another term. Sore feet. Okay. Now, what exactly this data sheet is? Data sheet is, whenever you take cough syrup, generally you, you tend to feel sleepy or drowsy. So those terms, drowsiness, sleepiness, those words are written in the label of the product itself. Okay, if you take this product, you might feel sleepy. So that is a term, that particular term is a event that is going to happen, is a listed event. So that is a data sheet. Data sheet is the list of event which is expected when you take that product. Okay. Now, so we have created the data sheet. We are going to save it. So far so good. Now let us move to the third box. In the third box, what we are going to do is we have created the family. Now we are going to create the product. Okay, the actual product, and then we are going to create a license, and then we are going to associate that license with the data sheet. Okay, so we are going to create product, license, and then associate the data sheet with the license. Okay, so we are in Calpol family. Okay, there's a button at the bottom which says add new product. Let us click on that. Product abbreviation, CAL. Okay. So it's a dose. It's 100 ml liquid bottle. Okay. And what is the generic name? I will copy it from the ingredient. That's the generic name. So it's cadmium, 100 ml. Dosage form. Dosage form is liquid. Strength is 100 ml. What is the indication? The indication, primary indication, I have to enter another event. I have entered cough. Now you see, when the moment I entered cough, there's a checkbox got green check. That means it has been encoded properly by the Medra browser. Who is the manufacturer? The manufacturer is definitely Rocket Pharma. Okay. So company drug code. So this is the company drug code. Every company gives a code to its product. So this is the company drug code I have entered. Let us save the product. So this is the product which we are going to sell in the market. But we will not be able to sell the product in the market unless we get the license to sell it. So what we are going to do next is we are going to add a license. Calpol 100 ml US marketed. Okay, so this is the name of the trade name. What is the market authorization holder? Who is the manufacturer? Rocket Pharma is the manufacturer. Then authorization country. Who has authorized us to sell this product in US? So we are going to say United States. So United States has authorized Rocket Pharma to sell the product. And what kind of license they have acquired? Rocket Pharma has acquired marketed drug license. Okay. Now, datasheet name. Which datasheet is associated with this particular product? Okay. So we are associating the datasheet name with the license. Now, let us give a license name. License. So I have given the name and license Calpol US marketed. Okay. Now the most important thing over here is the award date. Award date is the date on which the license was given to us. The date on from which we can sell the product in the market. You know, every like the driving license, it also has the date from when you can start driving the car in the marketplace. So that is the date. So let us assume that you started the company in the year 2000 and you got the license on 1st of January 2000 to sell the product. Okay, withdrawn date. Withdrawn date is the expiry date of your driving license. Or expiry date. In this case, it's the expiry date of the product. Let's suppose an adverse event has happened and the regulator or the agency has decided to withdraw the license. So they can withdraw the license and we have to enter that particular date. So we are not entering any license withdrawn date right now. So we are going to save it. So we have completed manufacturer, site, group, user, and then we have created the product. We have created the datasheet, USDS. We have entered 3 events. Then we have created the trade name. We have given the license, and we have associated it with it. The next thing is that FDA has told us. The FDA is the agency who has given us the license to sell the product in the market. Now, FDA has also given us the criteria. They have told Rocket Pharma that you can sell the product, but if there is any life-threatening event happens, and you get to know that by consuming your product, somebody has suffered a life-threatening event, then you should report within 15 days in a MedWatch report form. Okay? So next thing we are going to do is we are going to create a FDA. FDA is an agency. So we have to configure the agency in our application. In order to create agency, we will have to go to code list, RDIS. And we are going to select reporting destination. Name of the agency is FDA. Preferred method. Preferred method is email. Now, why I have chosen email? Because Rocket Pharma has decided that they are going to send this paper report. MedWatch report is a paper report. They are going to send this via email. Okay. So if I select email, it's very mandatory that I should enter the email address. Okay. So this email address over here is the email address of the agency. Okay. Okay. Now agency type. Agency type is FDA is a regulatory authority. Okay. And then I am going to enter the contact detail of the agency. Who are we going to contact? So I am going to enter . I have entered the contact information. Other than that, nothing is mandatory. Okay, whatever you see in the flag with a red flag is a mandatory icon, is a mandatory field which I need to enter. Okay. Now let us go to the local company contact. Local, who is the local company contact? Who is going to send the report to the agency? It is Rocket Pharma who is going to send it. So we have to enter the name of the Rocket Pharma over here. Okay. Then send the type. Send the type is pharmaceutical company. And event term, which event you want to send? Do you want to send low level term or a preferred term? That just isn't matter. I can set any of them. And then who is sending? Who is the contact person of Rocket Pharma? So the contact person is Mr. Simon. So I have entered almost all the information. Okay. So I have completed 2 tabs. The third tab is agency identifier. Agency identifier is FDA. And company identifier. Company identifier is Rocket Pharma. Rest of the fields are not mandatory. Now, this particular information on the last tab, SMTP, the from email address, this is very much important. Now, it is from this email address, the email is going to reach to the agency. Okay, this is the from address. This is the address. So here it is the address of Simon. Okay, so let me write the name of Simon. Okay, Simon@oracle.com, and under agency information, we are sending it to FDA. So FDA's email addresses. So Simon is going to send it to this particular email address. When Simon is going to send, when the pharmaceutical Rocket Pharma receives an adverse event which is life-threatening, and uh, and Rocket Pharma has to report in a MedWatch paper form. Okay, let us save this. Okay, so we have done almost all the configuration required for pharmaceutical Rocket Pharma to start selling the product in the market. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to log out and log in with the Simon user. Okay, as usual, it's asking for changing the password. Okay, so we logged into Simon logged into the application. So in the year 2001, when you started the company, the sale wasn't too great. The sale of your product wasn't too great. So not too many people consumed your product, and because of that, not too many people reported any event. So very few people reported the event, only one or two cases in a month. So Simon is a super user. So when he logged into the application, he really got very few cases to log in. So mm, so we are going to talk. The first thing that we're going to talk about is system configuration, system management. The first switch we're going to talk about is none. Okay. So the moment I make any system level changes, will have to log out and log back in. So before that, let me clear the cache. Okay, this looks good. Now I will log out and log back in. Okay. Now, so Simon got the first case. So he is going to go to case action, new. So year 2000, 0101 2000, 0101 2000, initial receipt date, central receipt date, the country of incident. The country of incident is US. So the patient who took the product was in US. So the country of incident is US, and the reporter is spontaneous. Okay, what is the name of the product? The product name is Calpol. So we are going to write Cal, and then I'm going to click on the select button. So automatically this opens up the product browser. So from the product browser, I can select the product. So you can see the trade name by which I created the product, and in the parentheses it has United States, which is the market authorization, who has given us the license to sell the product, and in the second line you will see there's a license number. Then we have the product name, we have the family name, and the ingredient. So almost you get the clear entire view of what you have configured in the product and licenses screen. So we are going to select this. Okay, I have selected the product. Now the first event that was reported is cancel. Okay. Date on which the event happened, 0101 2000. Reporter, David Jonathan is the reporter name, and US is the country, state NJ, and I'm going to click on continue over here. The patient name is Robert. Gary. Date of the birth is 1960. Sorry, I entered it incorrectly. The date of birth is 01/01/1960. Okay. Gender is male. Okay. Then I'm going to create a life-threatening event, and the reported causality, it is related. Okay. Now the bookend button is available for me to select. I clicked on bookend. So my first case has been created, 4026 at the number at the end. Okay. I will do some data entry just to make a case with more information, so that when I generate the report, I really have some data to show you on the screen. This is a one-time activity. Next time onwards, we are going to copy the same case over and over again instead of typing it. Okay, primary reporter. Patient information. Okay, so I have added, let me add one lab data also. Then I enter the lab assessment. Normal. Result is 800. Okay, we'll go to the product tab. Okay, and we'll go to the events tab. Okay, as I told you that the requirement from the from the FDA is that whenever an event which is life-threatening is reported to Rocket Pharma, then it is the responsibility of Simon to report that particular event. Now this particular event is a life-threatening. You see, there's a life-threatening checkbox. Now the moment I check this checkbox, this particular case needs to be reported to FDA. That is what the criteria is, right? So now this case does get qualified if I check this particular checkbox. Okay, so let me enter some more information in the case. Let me enter a few more events. I'm randomly selecting any event for the case. Okay, let me save the case. In order to save the case, there's the icon on the top, which is over here. Now, what I showed you earlier is that we have a switch in our web console. So we're talking about this particular switch. System management, auto regulatory scheduling none. What happens when we have the none switch? You get this particular button, schedule new report. Okay, so now Simon user has to report this case number to FDA in a MedWatch form. Okay, now when was this event happened, or what was the initial receive date? So the initial receive date is 1st of January 2000. So as per the criteria given by the FDA, so the criteria that was given by FDA is that if the event is reported on 1st of Feb 2000, then on 16th of Feb, Simon should report an FDA MedWatch report to the agency in case the event reported is life-threatening. So, as per the rule, this particular case thus qualifies, and Simon need to send this report before 16th of January 2000. Right? So what he is going to do is he is going to schedule the new report. In order to schedule the report, he is going to click on schedule new report button. He will have to select the product. Simon will select the license, the destination. He has to send it to FDA. Okay. So FDA. Now report form. Which form he has to send? He has to send a MedWatch form. This is the MedWatch form. And the date in 15 days. Right? The due date is in 15 days. Now here, protect confidentiality of reporter and patient. If I check it, then the patient and the reporter information will be suppressed in the report. Blind study product, if I check that, then the study product name will not appear. Okay, the group. Now, Simon belongs to all-in-one group, so he should be the person who should distribute the report. Okay, we are not using cover letter. I'm going to explain this to you in the later part of the session. Okay. So, you see, so Simon has prepared a list. Okay, this is what he has to do. He has to schedule the report. So he clicks on OK. Okay. Now, so let me save it once again. So in order to save it, I will click on the icon on the top which says Save Case. Okay, this process what I just showed you of clicking the new report and filling that particular pop-up model window, and you see a screen and you see a row in this particular screen. This process is called scheduling of report, manual scheduling of report. Even you will find the term manual written over here. Okay, so this process of scheduling the report is called manual scheduling of reports. Now, in the year 2000, Simon did not have too much of work. Very few events were reported, hardly one or two in a month. So he was a happy person. He did not mind scheduling. He did not mind scheduling a couple of reports every month into the agency. Okay. Now, next thing. Now, after scheduling, person has to log the case. Okay. Now, this is the report which we have scheduled. You'll see that there's a draft icon, draft link. If I place my mouse over it, I will be able to see a hyperlink. But under final, I do not see any hand icon. So if I click on the draft icon, what happens? I am able to let me save it. I'm going to save it on the desktop. It appears that I do not have Adobe PDF on my system. So just give me a minute. Let me just install Adobe Reader on this particular system. Okay, I will place the recording session on a mute for a time being. Sorry guys, we are back. So I have just installed Adobe Reader on my system. So where was I? So when I click on this draft hyperlink, what happens? It opens up the MedWatch report. Now this is what the report is which Rocket Pharma has to send to the FDA agency. Now since I clicked on the draft, it has a draft watermark appearing right across the report. Okay. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I will have to lock the case. So I'm going to click on lock icon. Case logged. The moment I lock the case, it says case has been saved successfully. The moment I lock the case, the first thing that we need to observe is this final link. It has turned into a hyperlink. So when I hover my mouse over it, it shows me a hand icon. Okay. Okay. That's the first thing. Now, I told you about the report scheduling. Whenever you see the row appearing on the bottom panel, it's when you click on the schedule new report, it's called manual scheduling. Okay. Now, when we click on this final link, what happens? See, our MedWatch report, the PDF which we have to send to the agency. This is the actual report which is going to be sent. It does not have any watermark. Okay. Now, what happened when we click on this final link? What happened? Application. It went to the database. It queried all the case data table. Okay, and then it generated the PDF file, and then this PDF file is then stored in the database itself. Okay. Now I will close it. Now next time if I click on the final again, second time, what will happen? It does not do the same operation. Application does not query the database. It does not goes and search for the case ID in the database. It does not search for the case master table. It pulls the PDF file which was generated for the when we clicked on the final link for the first time. Okay. Now see, I just clicked on the final link, and you see this is a generated date. It got populated. Earlier it was not there. Okay. So report scheduling. I showed you manual report scheduling. Now I showed you another state. See, this is a state. If you click on this icon and we go to report, view report details tab, you can see all the details related to the agency. But the fact that I'm interested in is in the state. Earlier it was in scheduled state. After I clicked on the final, it got converted into a generated state. Okay, so I have covered two states. One is scheduled. After you schedule the case, you lock the case. When you lock the case, the final links is available for us to click on it. When we click on the final link, the reports get generated, and you will see the generated date populated. So now if I click on, no matter how many times you click on the final link, it is not going to fetch the data from the tables. It is just going to pull the PDF report which we have created when we clicked on the first time, the very first time. Okay, this is the scheduling is the first step, locking is the second step, generation is the third step. Now what is the next step? Next step is we have to transmit this report. Okay, so Simon has to send this report to the agency. So what he has to do? I have copied the case number. He will go to reports, bulk reporting screen. Okay, I'm going to specify the case number. This is the screen, bulk reporting screen. So please remember that this is a screen from where Simon is going to send the report, transmit the report to the agency. Okay, so the print regulatory report, I'm going to select transmit. Okay, and I'm going to click on retrieve. Okay, now you see my case has been highlighted. I can see my report. Now this is the report. It is in a generated state. It is locked. First of all, you can see a lock icon. It is in a generated state. The case number, country of incident is United States, report type is spontaneous, the product name, the event, then this is serious, unlisted, and related. LC stands for life-threatening. It's a 15-day report. And what is the report type? Is a MedWatch report type. And whom we are sending? We are sending it to FDA. And it is the first time we are sending. It's an initial report. And the due date is 16th of January 2000. Okay. Now past due date. That means why it says 5486, because today's date is 23rd January 2015. So it has passed. It should have been submitted on 2000, but it's almost 15 years now. Okay. Now, what you're going to do next is we are going to check the checkbox, and then we are going to click on transmit. When I'm clicking on transmit, it is asking me a question. Do you want to mark the report as submitted? I say no. I do not want to mark the report as submitted. Okay. Now, the second comment. It is asking me to enter the transmission comment. Transmission comment will appear in the subject line of the email. Okay, so Simon is sending an email which has a MedWatch report to the agency. So this transmission comment will appear in the subject line. Okay. So after I transmit the report, this particular report will disappear from the bulk reporting screen. So the bulk reporting screen is meant for transmitting ATV report, transmitting the reports. After we transmit the report, what do we do? After we transmit the report, we track the status, whether when you give it to the courier person to deliver it, then the courier person provides us with a consignment slip, right, with a tracking number, so that we can track whether it has reached the destination or not. So in the same fashion, we are going to check the work list, bulk transmit. Now this is the screen, work list, bulk transmit. This is a screen where we track the status of the report. Okay, so again here the same information what we saw under the transmit screen, the case number, the MedWatch report form. The email address is, the mail is going to go to which email address? This particular email address. So if Simon is going to send it to this particular email. It is my email address, and then recipient name, date created, who is the sender name is Simon, and the sender company is Rocket Pharma. Status is pending. You see the status is pending. Now the question is, who is going to send the email? Now, so email will be sent by a background service. Now what is background service? So in our day-to-day life, we also have a background service. Like somebody is there to drop newspaper early morning at our doorstep. Right? It's an automated process. Somebody is there to provide us milk early in the morning. It's get delivered to my house. Somebody is there to clean my car every day early in the morning, So these are automatic background services which happens, right? So we also, this Argus application also needs a background service. So the background service name is bulk report transmit email. So I'm going to take you to the transaction service. But before I take you to the transaction service, we will need a service user who is going to run that particular service. Okay, so let us go to Access Management, Argus, and User. Add a user. So I'm going to give a number, service 100. Okay, and you can use the checkbox service user. Okay, now I'm going to enter the password. Okay, so username is service100. So this is the service user who is going to run the background service. Okay. Now let us go to the transaction server. The service100 is a user which we have created. So in our transaction server, we have something called Argus Safety Service. Okay. Now we are going to open Argo Safety Service. So this is how Argo Safety Service looks like. Now what we have to do, we have to click on this Add New Process on the top. It opens up a window. Now, in which service we need? Bulk transmit email. We have to transmit an email, so the service name is also bulk transmit email. Bulk report transmit email. Okay. Now, what's the database name? The database name is CS703ST. It's asking for the username. The username is the service username we just created. Service 100. The password, failure email. If this particular service is unable to perform or is unable to work, then an email is going to go to the administrator. So here I'm going to write my email address. So I'm going to get notified by the service that this particular service is not working. Right? Maybe if I just enter the incorrect password. So if I enter incorrect password, this particular service is not going to run. So application is going to send an email to failure email, this particular email address. Okay, that makes sense? So this is the service that we have configured. Bulk report transmit email. Okay, this is the one. Let me right click and disable the others. Okay, so I have disabled all the others, so only one of them is enabled, which is bulk transmit email. Now this process is going to pick the mail, pick and send the mail to the agency. Now I have to start it. In order to start it, I have to open the services screen. In the services screen, I will find Argo Safety Service. This is the service. So I have to click on Start. Now, so I think I should open my Outlook. You see, there's a message: 4 report process, 3 success, 0 failed, and 1 skipped. Okay, so okay. Do you see? I have just received an email from the application. Okay, and who has sent it? It has been sent by Simon. Okay, and you see this is the case number, and then the username, and this is the transmission comment. Let me open the report for you. This is the report. This is how you configure and you transmit an email to the agency. Now, the first question that is coming to your mind is, what are the things that I need to configure so that I could send an email to the agency? Let's suppose in other words, I want to have a similar setup in my environment where I can send emails. What is the requirement? Okay. Now, first and foremost, you have to go to system configuration and you have to configure your SMTP. This is the SMTP. You have to enter the SMTP server details. Now this is an email server who is going to send the emails. This is server who is going to send the emails. So I have entered the server name which has been provided by us. This is our internal. Okay, internal-mail.router.com, router.oracle.com. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay. The next thing that I should know is the to and the from address. Where is the to address and the from address? Now, who is receiving the email? The mail is being received by the agency, FDA. Correct? And where is the agency information? Agency information is in the code list manufacturer. Reporting destination. Under reporting destination, you see under agency information, this is the to address. This is the address to whom the report is going to be sent. Then next is preferred method. Preferred method is email. Okay. Now where is the from address? Who is going to send? You have to go to the SMTP tab. Under SMTP tab, you will find an email address of simon@oracle.com. So this is the user. This is the email address from who is going to send it. Right? So this is the only configuration. Apart from this, you will need a background service, and the background service name is bulk report transmit email. Okay. Now next thing is, now let us search this. You see there is a status is pending. Okay, let me search. This is the old screen. I have to refresh it. So if I search on it again, it says success. That means it has been successfully been delivered to the agency. Now the next question is, what do we do next? The next we do is we have to mark the report as submitted. Okay, so the next step is mark the report as submitted. Report has been marked for submission. Once I submit the report, it will no longer appear under the work list screen. That means the cycle of this particular report is complete. I should expect this report under report compliance submitted. Report compliance submitted. Okay, I will select the agency name. I have sent it to FDA, and the report from what was the report I sent? I sent the MedWatch report. So this is the MedWatch report. This month, let me try to retrieve it. You see, my report is appearing. Okay, now I will show you the report details tab. Okay, now this is the agency responsibility, who is sending the report, all in one group. Date generated, date submitted, date transmitted, the due date, scheduling, who scheduled it, it was manually scheduled. Okay, then routing, it was submitted. You see, when from worklist screen I right clicked and selected mark the report for submission. So I entered the comment. So this is the comment. So submission comment is going to appear under the report details tab. Okay, then submission, comments, and transmission. Under transmission, I can see that this particular report, FDA MedWatch report, was sent to FDA, and this is the email address and the recipient agency, and when it was sent. So this is how it completes the entire cycle of of the report. So let me summarize it again. What we did. So Simon is a super person. He's a super data entry person whose work is to do the data entry and to distribute and route the case to the agency. So the moment he receives an adverse event which is life-threatening, it is his obligation, it is his duty that a report is generated and sent to the agency. So what he does is that he creates the case. After he creates the case, he checks whether the case meets the criteria. So the criteria is that he checks whether the case is life-threatening. If the case is life-threatening, then it is his responsibility that he should report the case within 15 days. So once he is satisfied that the case does meet the the criteria provided by the agency, he schedules the report. Okay. So how he schedules the report? He clicks on the let me show you. He clicks on the auto schedule new report button. When he clicks on the schedule new review report button, a pop-up menu appears and he selects all the required mandatory information. When he clicks on OK, a row appears in the bottom of the screen. So which means the report has been scheduled. But he can see the draft view of the report, but he cannot generate the report. In order to generate the report, he needs to lock the case. He needs to freeze the data. So he locks the case. After he locks the case, he generates the report. He generates the report by clicking on the final link. So once the report is generated, the next step is he has to transmit the report. To transmit the report, he has to go to Report, Bulk Reporting Screen. On the bulk reporting screen, he has to specify the case number and he has to retrieve the case. And he has to make sure that the print the regulatory report, this particular option is transmit. Okay, and then he selects the report and click on the transmit button. Once he clicks on the transmit button, he gets two questions. The first question is the submission comment. What is the submission comment he is going to enter? And does he want to enter it now? So he can enter it now also and he can enter it later also. So let us enter it later. So he should select no, that he is going to enter the submission comment later. Okay. And the second pop-up question is transmission comment. Transmission comment is the comment which is going to appear in the subject line. Okay. So the moment you click on the transmit, he has to track the status. So in order to track the status, he has to go to work list. Under work list, there's a bulk transmit. Okay, work list, bulk transmit. This is the screen from where he's going to enter the case number and he's going to search for it, and he should see the status appearing as pending in the pending state. Now, it is whose responsibility to send the email. The responsibility of sending the email is by the background service. The name of the background service is bulk report transmit email. So in order to configure a bulk report transmit email, we need a service user. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to console and create a service user. Now, after we create a service user, we are going to configure the bulk report transmit email in our AD service box, right? And we are going to specify the service name. After we configure the service, we are going to start the service from the services screen. So we are going to start Argo Safety Services screen. After we start it, the email address that you have stated in the agency, under the reporting destination code list value, the email is going to be sent to that particular email. Okay, just like I showed you This is how it will appear. Right. After the mail has been sent, the cycle is not yet complete. The cycle of the report completes only when you mark the report as submitted. So you can still go to the work list transmit. Right click on it. It opens the context menu. From the screen, you select mark the report as submitted. So once you mark the report as submitted, it will disappear from the work list screen and will appear under the report, compliance and submitted menu. Okay. Okay. Now if I click on the case number, it is going to open the case for me. Now I can still see the case under the regulatory reports tab. Now this is the same case which we sent, and if I check the report details, it is in a submitted state. So it has the entire history, when the case was, when was the case scheduled, who generated it, when was it generated, then when was it transmitted, who transmitted it, and the routing comment, see, and the submission comment. So the entire information is there. So this process, so we are in year 2001, where Simon had very few cases to be reported. So every month he used to send a couple of reports to the agency. Okay, so we'll take a pause here, and we are going to continue our next session number 6, and I'm going to explain you a difference which is related to expedited report. Okay, and if you have any questions, please do mail me your query to pradeep.k.queo@oracle.com. Thank you. Have a nice day.